Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to church in Ocean Park. Glad to be with you this morning. And today is part of our celebration of Black History Month. So I'm Dr. Kim, and I'm lucky enough to bring the message today, which always makes me very happy. So we're going to start off with Lift Every Voice and Sing. Now, I know some of you saw who was that? Cheryl Lee Ralph singing this at the Super Bowl. But I can assure you, I will not be lip syncing. All right, so everybody go on mute because we're still on Zoom. But please sing along. And our dear Louise, music director, has got the words in the chat. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have now our weary feet come to the place for which our people cry. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out of the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the bright gleam of a bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, lead us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee, shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to each other. That's right, I added that. And true to our word, and true to our native land. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
Welcome. Thank you so much, Dr. Kim, for that beautiful rendition. As I think about the church in Ocean Park, I think about Bell Hooks, who talked about safe places, places of healing, reconciliation, and where community could come together. Greetings. My name is Elisa Orduña. I'm a priestess of the Oshun, or Orisha tradition, and of the Yoruba, a priestess of Oshun and Obatala. And I'm also a member of the church in Ocean Park. I'm here to welcome you to this unique multi-faith community that is dedicated to social justice. You may be wondering if you're welcome here, and of course you are. We are interfaith. We welcome you if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, if you're pagan, Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, Christian, atheist, a practitioner of African traditional religion, or some combination, or even if you don't identify with any particular faith group. You are welcome if you are single, married, divorced, gay, transgender, very rich, or living from day to day. We welcome those who are fidgety or very focused, if you just woke up or just got out of prison. We don't care if you're more religious than the Pope or haven't been to church since your nephew's bar mitzvah. We welcome people of all ages and abilities. We welcome soccer moms, tree huggers, latte sippers, vegans, junk food eaters. You are welcome here if you're in recovery or struggling with addiction. And if you're having problems or experiencing abundant joy or both. We welcome you if you like organized religion, and if you don't. You're welcome if you work too hard, don't work, can't spell, or if you're here because you heard that this is a strange church and you wanted to check it out. You are welcome if you're ink, pierced, or both, or none at all. We offer a special welcome to those who could use prayer right now, or had religion shoved down your throat as a kid. You're welcome if you're a tourist, a seeker, or a doubter, or all of the above. We welcome you to the Church of Ocean Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, our friend Alyssa. I am Reverend Janet Gollery McKithen, and I am the minister of the church in Ocean Park, and I also welcome you this morning. We want to begin by acknowledging that most of us are right now sitting on stolen land. In Santa Monica, the land was taken violently from the Chumash, the Quiche, and the Tongva peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, forced assimilation, enslavement, and destruction at the hands of US colonial settlerism. We also acknowledge that our communities and country was built on the backs of people who were stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and forced into labor. We acknowledge that we benefit from that labor that has never been repaid. In our acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to healing by helping to create a more just and equitable world through the struggle of changing how we do things that we see as normal, but that are actually systemically hurting people every day. We all have biases, and it takes intentionality to build compassion for people whose lives are different from ours. We seek to work together across boundaries to tear down unjust systems and build new relationships of healing and love. This morning, you'll hear from a variety of people. If you hear something you disagree with, know that they do not speak for the Church in Ocean Park in entirety, and that your voice is just as important as whoever just spoke. Thank you for being a part of this community this morning, and thank you for helping us break barriers and build more compassion. Thank you for helping bend the arc toward justice. Welcome to the Church in Ocean Park.
Thank you, Janet. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad to see so many of you. I love seeing you. I'm so glad we have Zoom to see each other while we wait for our church to get fixed. I like to get into the present at church by singing Thich Nhat Hanh chant 3 times. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. I also am going to share a song with you. This is called Let Justice Roll Down. It's written by Aileen Vance, and she used a lot of the words in this come from the Bible and also from Martin Luther King's speeches. This is a new song for me. You've heard it, but I love this song so much. There is no freedom, the wise man said. Let justice roll down, let it roll down. When the poor cry out for shelter and bread, let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary, walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Hatred will never drive out hate. Let justice roll down, let it roll down. Remember, our hearts can make us great. Let love roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary, walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Hey, let love roll down like a mighty stream. When brutality threatens our daughters and sons, let peace roll down, let it roll down. May our voices ring out above the guns. Let peace roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary, walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Hey, let peace roll down like a mighty stream. When fists rise up to strike a blow, let songs roll down, roll down. May the poets remind us of what we know. Let songs roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary, walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Yeah, let songs roll down like a mighty stream. Step by step and one by one, let justice roll down, let it roll down. They can kill the prophets, but the dream lives on. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary, walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Hey, let justice roll down, let it roll down. Let justice roll down, let it roll down. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Louise. Oh, I love that song. And yes, Aileen is a friend. Aileen Vance is a friend from the folk music world. So it will be great if you get a chance, anybody, to hear Aileen Vance. Definitely check her out. Definitely. Well, I'm Dr. Kim, and today I have the honor of bringing a message here for church in Ocean Park, and it's so good to be back. Yes, it is Black History Month. It is February. I've been traveling every week, every weekend, so I've missed being with you. The first weekend of the month, it's always to New York City for the Black History Mass from the Office of Black Ministry and for the Archdiocese of New York at St. Patrick's Cathedral, and we had a grand celebration, and it's also the day for the African and African American family. So that's always fantastic. Last weekend, I was in Rochester, New York at Nazareth College, and it was fantastic. Now, it was a little strange because it was Rochester, New York, a little east of Buffalo. There was no snow on the ground. I don't know. So, but it is good to be back here at my home, the church in Ocean Park. Now, today's message, what I'm thinking about is we need to thrive and not just survive. Yes, as you saw, if you got that great weekly email that goes out, thinking, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? But my thought is we need to thrive and not just survive. Now, this idea actually got from one of the friends of the church in Ocean Park, and that's Rabbi Jonathan Kliegler. And, I've heard him preach about this in his synagogue, where he just retired from in upstate New York. He says, as he says that to his congregants, he says, as a Jewish community, we've got to survive, absolutely, and we know that anti-Semitism is on the rise, but we also have to think about how do we thrive and not just survive. Now, as I thought about getting to speak with you this morning, I thought, well, we just like Rabbi Jonathan was saying, we can't just do one or the other. We have to survive. And I know one thing that happens in so many different ways with the activism by the community and various members at Church in Ocean Park is that we're doing a lot to think about how many oppressed peoples and of course in particular the African American community, how can we survive? And yes, we've been responding to the killings of Tyree Nichols in Memphis and Keenan Anderson in Venice, right, what'd you say, at the corner of Venice and Lincoln, right in Santa Monica. I heard a story this morning on Our Body Politic on that radio show, and they were talking about the deputy gangs in the New York police, not New York, in the Los Angeles Police Department. And they said something that we've been thinking a lot, that not all white supremacists are white people. Yes, and in those deputy gangs, there are African American officers that have been pulling people over and killing them, just as we saw in the killing of Tyree Nichols in Memphis. We have got to work for survival. Yes, we have got to work for survival. When we think about those who are unhoused and don't have enough food to eat, we have got to work for survival. And of course, so many in African American community face that. When I hear about the suicides of people within our African American communities and about domestic violence, we have to do what we need to do to survive and work for survival. That is true. That is clear. And we have to keep on moving forward with that. And I'll say it again, and we also need to thrive. What can we do to thrive? And that's a question I'm going to be asking a few times today and inviting you to think about. What can we do? How can communities, especially communities that have been oppressed, what do we need to do to thrive? Now, I've got a couple of examples because even in the midst of Black History Month and running to and through and back and forth, I've been thinking a lot about what I need to do to thrive. Now, first of all, I need to take a nap every day. Definitely. Definitely. Taking care of our bodies. We need to thrive. I think about getting to work out now for about a year, and it'll be my year anniversary this week. I've been working out with a trainer and also going to the gym at Loyola Marymount University to work out. Now, I have to say that, after teaching 2 classes, the end of the day, I don't want to be going to the gym, and yet I know it's been helping my body. It has been helping me be able to thrive. I can get out there and march and pray with my feet, but I got to have my feet warming up so that I can do that. What can we do to survive, not only, but also to thrive? Now, my mother, Mama iJoy, she's here with us this morning, and I'm going to tell on her because she works out 3 times a week. 91 years young, you see. And she works out from her chair, that same chair that she's sitting in. What can we do to thrive and not only survive? Now, our LMU Black faculty, staff, and administration, we have been getting together. And I have to admit, there are times when I'm like, oh, I've had a long day. I don't want to go to a meeting. I don't want to go to a mixer. I don't want to do it. But let me tell you what happens when we get together. We share what the experiences are with each other. We support each other. We help each other learn to do what we need to do to move toward tenure. And then some other things happen and you don't know they're going to happen. One of our new faculty members in African American Studies, he of course has the honored name of Malcolm. Well, Malcolm brought his daughter, he was picking her up from the daycare, and she came by his office, and he looked and she wasn't there. He looked and she was just outside of his office looking up at the wall where there was a picture of an adult and a young African American girl. And he looked out at her. His daughter was looking up at the picture and pointing to the picture. And she said, "Daddy, that's me." She's 4 years old. She said, "Daddy, that's me." And he realized that something was going on, something inside of her as she came to this academic institution. Now, we never know where seeds get planted, how seeds get planted. And her seeing that representation, that will help her to thrive. And we know it's not easy to be in a predominantly white organization when you are a person of color, but even just seeing that will help her to thrive. Now, I'm going to tell on my mother again, because when she was studying at St. Joseph University 50 some years ago, and she was studying how to teach young people to read and seasoned people too, the teaching of reading. And she brought me into school with her and dressed me up as a book. I'm just saying, I don't know if I have a picture of that, but Mom dressed me up as a book. But now 50 some years later, I never forgot that. And seeing the people who had gathered, and at St. Joseph at that time, women couldn't even go to college during the day. They had to go at night. And they could take education courses. And seeing what she did. And when Mom graduated, there was an article in the paper and says, Negro mother. This is like, 1964, I think it was. Negro mother valedictorian of the class, first Negro woman to graduate. It was this incredible, and we still have a copy of that at Mom's house. How can we thrive? What do we need to do to thrive? Now, I'll tell one more story on my mother, and I can tell you she's she's going to say, "Why'd you have me come today? You're going to be telling all these stories on me." But when I was speaking with her this morning, and we were talking about the fact that former President Jimmy Carter is in hospice. He's made a decision to have his last days be at home receiving hospice care. And I remember back in 1984 when a dear friend of mine and one of the people I was making music with, his name was Conrad Kreider, and Conrad developed colon cancer. And he was sick, very sick for a while, and when he was getting toward the end of his life, I remember that I was going to see him, Reggie was going to see him, and Mom went to see him, and she came back and she said, "I didn't know what to say." And next thing I know, Mom says, "I heard about this hospice thing." She called up hospice, the Wissahickon Hospice in the northwest part of Philadelphia, and said, "Can you help me learn how to be a hospice volunteer?" And they said, "We don't have anybody Black that's doing that." I think maybe they had one, right, Mom? One Black woman that was doing that in that particular hospice group. So Mom went and she got the training. And I know that helped some Black families when Mom would come out to be with them when they were walking that last part of the journey. And next thing I know, Mom says, "I'm going back to school." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, not again." Well, she went back to take training as a family therapist. And became a family therapist. It was definitely, I think, your third or fourth career, Mom? And she went to talk with people and joined the Black Psychologists and Family Therapists Association in Pennsylvania, and helping people to thrive. Now, at this 91 years young, she's still a family therapist, right from that same chair. Wave, Mom, let everybody see your chair. But what can we do to help our communities to thrive, to keep our bodies healthy, to be with our dear friends and colleagues and people here at church in Ocean Park? How can we help each other to thrive in the midst of our much needed activism for survival? And so when I think about the African American community in particular and about this Black History Month, the question for me is, how can we not only thrive, but also work to survive? To survive and to thrive. So my question to you, and I know we're about to move into community sharing. So as you are thinking about it, think about how can we who work so hard for activism, for survival, also help each other to thrive? And what is needed as we think about our communities? What is needed to help our communities to not only survive, but also to thrive? So, Louise, would you do me a favor, please? Dear Louise, would you put the words of WOYAYA into the chat? And as we're getting ready for this, because I'm going to sing this song, okay, after, and then if you can save that other one. But I want to just read you all, as she's putting it in, just a little bit from today's daily word. Say, Mom and I read this every morning together on Zoom. We've been having a good time on Zoom. And today's word is aspire. It says, "I aspire to help create a world that works for all. I hold a vision of an equitable world, a global community that supports and encourages all people to live fully and reach their unique potential. I feel a kinship with those who hold a similar vision and work to realize it. That's y'all. That is definitely y'all. My past experiences and present perspective show me what is mine to do and how I can contribute to realizing my vision. And I trust that I will be guided and inspired to find avenues of service where the things I do best and most enjoy doing, and even the things that are hard, will be most helpful. And the word for this song, as we end this message time and get ready for community sharing, the word is WOYAYA. We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We'll know we're there. We will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. And the words, WOYAYA. WOYAYA, 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 WOYAYA. Sing it again. WOYAYA, 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 WOYAYA. One more time. WOYAYA, 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 WOYAYA. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Dr. Kim, we're so honored that you're a part of this community. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Lovejoy, for being with us. And I am honored to know all those stories about you. They're beautiful and very inspiring and motivating as well. So I'm glad to know more about you this morning. So yes, we have community sharing now, which means that it's time for you to share. If you'd like to, you can raise your hand the Zoom way, or you can go like this and we'll try to see you. You can make a statement or ask a question, but I think the question that Dr. Kim was asking us is, what do you do to thrive, or how can we thrive? How can we thrive in the world better? Is that correct, Dr. Kim?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with Bob. Hi, Bob.
This will touch on your question, but also not be maybe a direct answer. But I love that you're bringing that word thrive into this conversation about social justice. And it seems to me that that's one good way of stating the goal of social justice oriented people is we want to live in a society in which everyone thrives. And it's interesting to me to think that that is not a national goal for politically. In other words, no one in Congress or the president states that as a goal that our society should be shooting for. For instance, it's very hard to thrive if you're economically poor, but no one is proposing that we eliminate poverty altogether. No one in government. We are, Probably all of us advocate that, but it's not a national goal. And beyond poverty, though, it's also important to note that just not being poor economically does not guarantee thriving. Thriving is a lot more than just not being poor. And I think for myself, thriving has an awful lot to do with the relationships I'm in. And it's nice to have a certain level of material comfort, but I mean, that's one of the myths in our society, that everyone has an equal opportunity, false, but also opportunity to do what? To grow rich, as if that would bring happiness. And I think I want for myself and for us the same thing I want for the society as a whole, for people to be, free of anxiety and fear that poverty brings, but also to have very rich relationships, which on the whole, capitalism does not encourage us to focus on very well. I could go on and on, but I'll stop there.
Yeah, Lorraine?
Okay. I want to say that in my 20s, etc., one of the things that helped me and people in my community thrive was having, and that was in the gay community, the lesbian community, was having a safe space, sort of agendaless safe space. And that safe space was incredible because it brought together people of all different kinds of backgrounds, where we sought each other out because we wanted to meet people and feel safe. And I think I'm hoping that we as a church continue to create safe space. I guess this is just a reminder to me of the importance of having our church itself, because things happen in that safe space where you're rubbing elbows with people, you're standing in line for the bathroom, or they're wearing a funny pair of sneakers that you like, and you get to talk and you discover each other. And I'm just really looking forward to having more of that with all of you. And I don't think there is a safe space for this whole community that makes up Church in Ocean Park, except for the church. I mean, where else would we find each other? At the line, in the supermarket or something? I don't know. But I just am saying that that's my observation, the importance of safe space for thriving, not just surviving, because the joy that happens in that safe space is beyond just surviving. It's thriving. That's all.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And some of you know that we have a queer prom every year, and normally what happens after the queer prom is those people gather at the church in different times during the year. So it's not just a queer prom and that's it. So the safe space of the church in Ocean Park is the queer community it thrives in the church building at the church in Ocean Park, and pre-COVID and pre the ceiling falling down. And the same way with kids with disabilities did. They feel safe in that space. So there are people who are not able to gather in that way. And that's one of the things that Lorraine is referring to. And I completely agree. And that's, my heart is broken over that at this time. Joseph, Chaplain Joseph.
Yes, I think simply one thing that helps us to thrive is singing. When we are able to sing in a group, in singing in a group, you can't sing, you're not supposed to sing above the other person. You sing in unison. It needs cooperation. It needs to, you have to subsume your own talents in a sense and blend your voice with the others in the group. The singing takes a lot of discipline and cooperation. I think that's how our ancestors were able to survive, because they started poking fun at their slave masters. And then in doing so, they were able to laugh. And then they brought forth their hopes and aspirations and their visions in song. And it was singing that helped them to survive. And we still sing some of the songs that they sang, that we sing today, and gives us such motivation to go forward for justice and for peace. So I think singing, maybe there should be a choir in the Senate. Have a Senate choir, have a joint choir. So when we have that joint choir there, people will learn how to subsume their own desires. You know, they have to blend, they have to wait on some others. And I think if we have a large choir, maybe I should do that, start a large choir there. And that would help them to understand what compromise is, and so on. Singing.
I think Dr. Kim would agree.
Oh, I totally agree. Thank you so much. I'm thinking about it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Louise would agree as well. You're absolutely right.
I think, well, what's also, and when we were talking as we were gathering early this morning, now, Chaplain Joseph, isn't Carnival coming up? A chance for people to be together and to celebrate? That you said you were watching it.
Yes. Yeah. This is a time when the whole country is singing. The whole country is singing. We're singing calypsos, we're singing songs, we're singing soca, we're singing. The whole countries are practically singing during the days and weeks before Carnival and on Carnival, Monday and Tuesday coming. So it's a time when the whole country is in unison and celebrating the same desires and the same hopes and getting rid of their same frustrations through song. And it's a wonderful time, really. Really is.
Beautiful. Thank you. And then we'll go to Jerry and then Louise. Jerry?
First of all, I just want to say how much I appreciate all of you. And it really feels good to see faces coming up that I know and have been really supportive for so long. One thing that I think would be good, I guess, for everybody to thrive is to practice gratitude. I know my wife, Marissa, that was like a big thing for her. And that's why they're going to be planting that tree of gratitude on Earth Day, and you're all invited. But she would always just tell me whether things are going bad or going good. There is always time for gratitude for the good in our life, you know, and I think if we could all realize that, it'd be good. I just got this. I think it says live in gratitude. So I'm trying, and as hard as it is, but I think it's a worthwhile thing to do. Thank you.
Beautiful, Jerry. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Louise?
Just hearing Joseph share, I was reminded of this video that I have. I bought. It's not very well known at all, but it's about in South Africa, in prisons, they have choirs. And these prisoners are able to come together and sing. And I don't know if this happens in our prisons, but I kind of doubt it. But in South Africa, it's a thing. And they even allow the prisoners to go in competition with these choirs. And it's like, wow, that's amazing, because I don't think that happens here. And singing is amazing. And there was this video that I want to see again. It's about Estonia and how the whole society sings, and they have like massive choirs in the street. They've pushed back the Russians trying to come in and take over. I have to watch it again because I don't remember exact details, but it was amazing that just singing in big, huge choirs in the street had such an effect on the whole society. Thanks for letting me share.
Very powerful. All right, Dr. Kim?
Yes. Thank you so much, Louise. Actually, a friend of mine, and I'm going to have to remember her last name. First name is Catherine, and she used to have a great women's choir in Philly. But when she went out to Ohio, she was teaching at Yellow Springs at Antioch. Nearby, one of the prisons there that was closer, a little closer to Cincinnati, she started a choir. And, because she was going in to teach the people who were incarcerated, it was all men. And so I think she had Reggie and I come in to do a program for them on spirituals, and she heard them singing along with us. And she said, "Oh, we ought to start a choir." And, next thing we know, about a year later, we get a CD in the mail because they started a choir, and they don't go out for competitions or anything, but they sing, and it's really incredible. I think, Mom, that CD you have called "I Feel Like Going On," and that CD was made by this men's chorus in a prison. Now, I don't know if there are other places where that happens, and like I said, I don't think they're going out for competitions, but they definitely. And then the other thing I was thinking about Chaplain Joseph is that there are hospice choirs. Some of our folk music friends that we know, they get a group of people together and they learn, some particularly selected songs. And then if someone is in hospice, particularly if they're doing at-home hospice, they will come over and actually, gently sing these songs to people. And it's and they've got a particular way that they identify themselves, but really what they are, Louise.
Threshold choirs.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a group here in LA. It meets Wednesday nights if you want to be in a threshold choir. It's small, but it's all over. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Thank you, because I forgot what they were called.
Yeah, Bonnie?
Just to say thanks. This has really touched my heart in many ways and touched my body and my mind. I've been going through issues for the past 5-6 weeks and coming out of it gratefully. And it really got to me. First, Negro woman. I'm lacking words, but first of all, the accomplishment. Secondly, as we all know, it's so sad that it has to be a consideration for an issue. And talking about hospice, well, dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, y'all, let's go for it. Congressional choirs.
Yes.
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 Thanks, Joseph. We'll back you up on that one. Okay, that's it.
Thank you so much. Hurley Jim?
Yeah, that's an amazing idea. I love that. And I want to, well, I just had a flash of my father, who was a Methodist minister, gave the opening prayer, in the house one time, and I got, and my brother, my mother, we got to be there. This wasn't what I was going to talk about, but I just had this flash of, how that would have been, if he would have been the song leader and singing, everybody starts singing. That would have been pretty amazing anyway. But yeah, what I was going to say was dance. I was going to bring in dance, because dancing, there are cultures that are just dancing all the time. You all know that I'm involved in dance, singing and dance, song and dance. A little different than that image calls up, but I just, like I went to this co-counseling workshop, Native American Liberation up in Canada. And the people there, they were from different bands up there. They call them bands instead of tribes, but from different bands. And we'd all get together and we'd just be dancing a lot. We'd just be doing this group dancing, different, like the grass dance, this dance, that. And it was just really powerful, brought us together in a good way, creating community. And as pretty much as a lifelong activist, I at this point don't see a separation between social justice work and thriving and flourishing, because I think what we need, what I experience is, loving kindness, interactions, those, noticing how important those are. I've talked about this in a lot of places a lot, but the significance of those seemingly insignificant little moments of kindness and loving kindness with each other, that's what builds what we want, the world that we want. And, at the end, if we achieve, the things that we want to achieve, or even if we're just in the process of it, what do we have? What do we have? It's the relationships that we have with each other. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for all of your sharing. I've gotten a lot out of it. My heart is touched by all of you, and so much love. Thank you so much.
So I have a song for you. Hurley Jim, you are the shining example of somebody making connections all the time, and it's beautiful. And this song, it says there's more love somewhere, but right now I think there's a lot of love right here, but I'm still going to sing this song anyway. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. And I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is justice somewhere. There is justice somewhere. And I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is justice somewhere. There is peace somewhere. There is peace somewhere. And I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more love somewhere. Hey, hey. There is more love somewhere. And I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love. There is justice. There is peace somewhere.
I just want, 6 years ago, my mother died on the 17th. And I just want to remember in gratitude that I was raised by a strong woman. And this is my favorite picture of her. We call it our intrepid mom, as a world traveler in her 70s. You know, when you remember your mother, there's so much that is really impossible to summarize it. So I'm just grateful to be able to think about her and remember her this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. We're going to sing in a minute after Pastor Janet remembers her aunt.
I just want to say a couple of words. She just recently moved from Huntington Beach to Colorado, and my mom and I were going to go see her sometime because we weren't able to see her in her last time at Huntington Beach. It coincided with when my mother was in the hospital. So we were making plans to go see her in Colorado. But anyway, she was an amazing person. I don't know what else. I could go on longer, but we will miss her. Some of you saw her at Fancy Dress Swims. She loved our Fancy Dress Swim.
So we're going to sing These Do I Remember, which we've sung before. These do I remember well through all the years. We'll sing it through 2 times. These do I remember well. These do I remember well. These do I remember well. These do I remember well through all the years. One more time. These do I remember well. These do I remember well. These do I remember well. These do I remember well through all the years.
I think it is time now to celebrate birthdays and sing happy birthday, Jean. Can you tell us who we're celebrating today?
So we have 4 birthdays so far. Wendy and her daughter Annalisa and Tara and Bonnie. So if there's anybody else, could you wave at us? Let me see the gallery. Any more birthdays? Okay, here we go.
Kick us off, Kim.
Yes, I was trying to remember. So, did we get Mom? Oh, that's Tara. Okay. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Wendy. Happy birthday, Annalisa. Happy birthday, dear Tara. Happy birthday to our Bonnie. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
I love Louise so much and Dr. Kim so much. We're so lucky. We're very, very lucky. I can't wait till we're back in person and can do that. Yes. So unmute yourself. And as you unmute, look around and think about this community and how lucky we all are to have this community, even on Zoom. Someday we'll be together again in person and harmonize. We can harmonize a little bit. We can harmonize more. And we can dance with Hurley Jim.
And
All
go
right,
to the
so-
Senate and the Congress.
That's right. That's right. And we could do noisemakers on Purim and those kind of things. So unmute ourselves and say, carry on. Put your arms out and reach across the world and hold hands with whoever it is next to you. And say together, carry on. 1, 2, 3, carry on.
Everyone.
Thank you, church.
Mm.
Thank you.